shall never be found. Hey, honey, I know how it sounds. You go a quicksilver downstream, find me.
There we go.
All right, cool, crisp October morning here. We're fishing the big Qualicum River today. And we're here with our good friend Gil
D'Oliveira.
Nailed
it. Gil's just a buddy of ours, seasoned river fisherman, and
actually a Mountain Pro staff.
Nice, yeah, he is a Mountain Pro staff.
Yeah.
You've been with the Munson for how long, Gil?
2013.
2013. All right,
Yes.
so he's got the gear.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah, we're going to have
Fish
some
with
fun. It's all in the outing and the outdoors.
Absolutely.
And the sharing an adventure.
There you go.
That is
Love
the
it.
attitude. I love it. That's the Gil attitude.
Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. We got some coho in the river today. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Great.
Perfect. Is there anything else we can expect, like, out of this river? That coho's in it, but can you randomly get a trout, randomly get a moldy Chinook, you're saying?
The Chinooks have gone up the river. They are in the river, but most of them are moldy.
Yeah.
They've had their time. But there's always the chance of late one going upriver.
Yep.
If you do get one on, you will know.
Because our line is going to snap. We got pretty light gear.
It'll be like a freight train. That's on the end of your line.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
All right, cool.
Our first hole, we're going to go after an aggression strike. So we're using a heavy spoon lure with the trailer hook. I've found that taking off the manufactured hook, a lot of movement, so very little tear up, actually no tear up. So we're going to throw this out, hit the bottom, lift it up, reel, hit the bottom, lift it up, and try to get the aggression strike.
We just saw one jump in this little first pool of ours here.
Make sure you check your regs.
Can change daily on the river. So with your freshwater license, get your non-tidal salmon tag.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
You cannot fish a salmon river, even if you say you're not going to keep one. You must have a salmon tag.
Very important.
Non-tidal.
With that said,
in the water.
I appreciate it.
See, I slowed it down.
Yep.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're the other guy.
I'm the other guy, right-handed.
So when it hits the bottom, just go like that.
Yeah.
Reel. You got the lure? No. Oh, you lost the lure. All right.
Really? You didn't feel like I should have snapped off.
What are you using? That big pink thing?
Okay, so you kind of missed it. We had a nice fish on there.
And rule number one, we have lots of rule number ones.
Rule number one for today.
Oh. Broke again.
So the line is snapping off as we're tying our lures. This is fresh line, but I think it's all just sort of mangled up from the last time we were on the rocks.
There will be more.
Oh, yeah.
We're fishing with a guy here who loves our show, so that makes everything more fun.
Let's go. This line is no good, and I lost a fish because of it. We got a field repair here. Obviously, you always carry spare line with you. I was happy to hear too, just yakking with Gil, and I asked, you know, if you get a fish and it gets off, does it scare everything else and you gotta move? He says, no, they're stupid. They'll come back. So I was pretty happy to hear that.
That's a win.
So this river is a hatchery retention for coho only.
Hatchery, so that meaning you can only keep coho.
A coho that has
a hatchery.
the adipose fin
Removed.
clipped off
Right.
with a sealed scar.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not
You
sealed.
can't clip
healed.
it off yourself.
Yeah. Hey, it's been done.
Oh, it's definitely been done.
All right, nobody ever said fishing was a style sport.
We got some new equipment we're going to try to utilize here. Fish's catch is going to be way cooler.
You are now seeing what Nato and Tyler see. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, that's good.
Tomatoes on.
Down there, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a fish.
We're sliding in history.
I don't like where he's at.
Okay, put the tip of your rod, if you can get close to the water, put the tip of the rod in the water.
Ooh.
Really? I've never.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't like the sound of that.
There you go. That's okay. That's called fishing.
That was a really nice fish.
That's the worst noise.
I didn't like that at all.
Whatever's happening down here is probably no better.
I think the fish know that you guys are filming. Well, it's also good for comedy, right?
Yeah, it's great for comedy.
We're switching gears into the old fly fishing tactic.
Yeah, we fished the bejesus out of that pool. Had 3 on. All of them got off. But so we moved just slightly upstream from where we were at. We're gonna try fly fishing now.
Gil's running a 10 weight, Gil? 9 weight, we're running a 6 weight. We're gonna have to, he's laughing over there. We're gonna have to play the heck out of these fish.
So the goal is we're gonna do a nice roll cast, let the fly float down, and then start retrieving. So we did fly fishing there for a bit. After fly fishing, we're gonna do a little bit of drift fishing in the same area. We're seeing some nice fishing here, some healthy looking coho and some unhealthy looking chinook. Our pencil weight that we're gonna be bouncing off the bottom.
And a little tip from Gil's tip here. What he does.
This is very interesting.
Is
You always have the lead weight always snags rocks in it.
Gil wraps this in what they call a parachute
Cord.
Yeah. And apparently you get less snags on the weight.
Very snagless.
So that's good to know.
Pro tip right there from Gil. Yeah, so we just got some pink fluff on the end.
Not much.
Not a lot of fluff.
More hook than fluff.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll start floating.
It was not for lack of trying.
No, it was, and you know, it was a fun day.
Yeah, it's always a fun day.
Always a fun experience when you're at a new river. Well, we had 3 on. 2 of them broke line. One of them just spat the hook, I think.
Yeah.
And saw lots. That was fun.
That's why they call it fishing.
That's why they call it fishing.
Yeah, I can't say it enough. Like right now, you probably can't see it, but there's about 4 billion fish right there behind us.
Yeah. we're dangling things right in front of them. They don't care.
So whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah. Thanks to Gil. Always fun to go fishing with him. He's always a good,
Gil, my man. Thank you.
good personality.
Oh, I'm pretty strong.
I'll go gentle.
I have a sore shoulder.
Sorry. Oh, no, he tells me now.
Enjoyed today, guys.
No, we
it
did
was a
too.
blast.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
So see you next time.
We're in the fishing rods.
So we're not done yet.
Joke's on you.
Back in front of the big Q sign here with one of the managers here at the Qualicum Fish Hatchery, Aaron Burgoyne.
Yeah, we were invited back. He saw we were here. He said, "Hey boys, come on down. We're gonna give you a private tour." So we're here. And yeah, Aaron, what do you do here?
Well, I'd love to give you guys a private tour. It'd be great, but it's a completely public facility, so anyone's welcome to come by any time of the year and really check it out. But yeah, we're at the big Qualicum Hatchery, so I appreciate you guys coming out, and I thought it was a great idea that we could talk to you guys a little bit about what we do here.
Yeah.
So this site was built in the early 1960s, and it was the original site in the province. There's about 16 SEP facilities, Salmon Enhancement Program facilities. This was the original, so a lot of the information that came from this site and its build and how it originally operated went into creating the rest of the sites across the province.
Okay, we're gonna go into the office. He's got a real cool computer system that he can control the whole river from. We're gonna dive into it.
Super excited about that.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, as promised, we're in the office. This is where it all goes down. Crazy stuff.
So this system, unlike many others, it's not shocking that it's dam controlled. However, We at Big Qualicum are in control of the flow, so we completely alter the flow here dependent on the season and water conditions. Everything flows from Horn Lake into the Strait of Georgia from here, so currently we're in our fall spawning mode, so we have adequate flow for the fish to spawn in, and then we go into conservation mode throughout the summer to restore the lake to its normal height.
So this looks fancy. Click a button and
Yeah, pretty much.
open her up.
I mean, we've got all our faces here, so we're looking at the main site. We've got our valves. We've also got, which is unique to this site, is we have a 3-tiered intake system. So we have a surface, an intermediate, and a lower level intake. So we can manipulate the temperature in the summer to keep it low-ish, the 12 to 15 degrees as opposed to 18 to 20 degrees, which can be have harmful effects on the fish. From here, there's multiple controls. We have our gate shaft, which we unfortunately don't control the gate shaft from here, and that's how we get into the different intakes. We can go up there and operate the generators, but from down here we can operate our valve house, which is about 500 meters from the gate shaft through a tunnel. There's 2 valves on it that we can, 2 cone valves that we can open and close from here, and then that adjusts the flow accordingly. But I think you guys are here to see some fish.
Let's go see some fish.
We're at our main fence here. So the main fence is located about 2 kilometers from the ocean. All fish are counted through here. So what we're going to do now is it's chum season, so we're going to open up the main fence and we're going to get a little blast of chum go through. There'll still be a few coho around as well, but generally what should be moving will be chum. So every fish that goes upriver is physically counted by somebody here. Throughout the season, we count all our chinook, all of our coho, and all the chum either go upriver through this fence when it's open and people counting them, or off of our spawning table. Yeah. Most of these chum are 3 and 4 years old, so they were spawned here 3 and 4 years ago. So it's nice to see that the resource is coming back. Upriver, we'll get to that in a little bit, but we have our spawning channel and also the main stem of the river. So our target's approximately 25,000 fish in the spawning channel, which is open now. So that's where these fish will end up, in the spawning channel, and then also the river.
Okay, we're going into the viewing room where hopefully we're going to see a whole bunch of fish. It's kind of like half submerged, so you can see in the water. Let's go see some chum.
So cool, eh guys?
By the way, all my kids are here. And my wife.
Wow.
So for the most part in here, this is where all the fish travel into our raceways for holding for brood stock. We don't target chum as a brood fish for artificial spawning, where holding fish, killing the fish, and cutting it open. So we generally have this jump down just below us here in the fishway is high enough that the chum really struggle to get up it, but the coho have usually no problem. So the few chum do get in, but we're trying to keep the chum out. As you've seen, hundreds of chum can move in mere seconds. So we don't need to handle multiple thousand chum every day to get our coho allotment. So yeah, the fish will be swimming in and we'll be holding them for brood stock or for our ESSR fisheries for Qualicum First Nation. Big Qualicum Hatchery, we work very closely with the Qualicum First Nation. We've got a great relationship with them. Nearly a quarter of our staff is made up, our permanent staff is Qualicum First Nation members. And so when we have excess salmon for our escapement is met upriver, our brood target is also met, then extra fish are then processed for Qualicum First Nation for food fish for band members and other economic benefits for the band. And when that happens, that's also when the fishery gets opened below the hatchery, which has been open now for about the past month. The coho fishing's been great here. You guys missed it by a couple weeks, but yeah, it's a great relationship we have with those guys in that group. So I just wanted to point that out.
Awesome.
So at the hatchery here, we do, our main target species are Chinook, Coho, and Chum. We also get pinks in the system that we allow to spawn naturally, and we see the odd sockeye. With our Chinook and Coho, we spawn them artificially, meaning we hold them, we check for ripeness, and when they're ripe, we kill them, cut open the females, take the eggs, we take the milk from the males, and then we take those both separately up to our incubation building, fertilize there, and then put them away. Whereas the Chum, as we mentioned earlier, letting them upriver, they spawn naturally in the system or the spawning channel. So on our egg take dates, we'll crowd over all of our brood fish into the raceway here. So the fish are then raised up in the elevator there and they slide down on the table. Once they come down on the table, our crew will sort them. Any fish that aren't ready to spawn or any bycatch, like other species that are untargeted, either go back to the river or go back to holding. We adipose clip 100% of the coho on our site, but we only coat a wire tag about 25% of them. So all of the coho that are killed for brood or leave the site for ESSR fisheries, Qualicum First Nation, they run through a machine just below us here, where it's basically a metal detector, so it can detect the coated wire tag in its snout, and if it has that, we take the snout, do all the data associated with that. The coated wire tags are unique. They're a 6-digit code that would be unique to this facility, and so when that information gets into the system, then we can tell where that fish came from, most likely here, but we can tell what kind of different release strategies we might have used for that, what's working better, what's not working as well, and we can adjust our strategies moving forward. That one's got a coated wire tag. Our coho, 100% of them are adipose clipped. They're all adipose clipped through this building, and approximately 25% of them also have a CWT coated wire tag implanted into them. The information we get from that is important for strategies in moving forward. But we send all those heads in. We send over 500 coho heads in, sometimes up to 1,000. Chinook, we also send up to 500 heads. Just for reference, a coated wire tag, when that tag gets removed from the fish, it's analyzed under a microscope. They read the code and track, and then they can tell where the fish came from.
We're headed up to, I guess what'd you call it? The
spawning channel.
Spawning channel.
Just pulling in.
Oh, that was fast.
Not very far at all. About an hour ago, we counted up a couple hundred chum salmon into the system. They get up here, they have two choices: main stem of the river or spawning channel behind us. Right now, the main stem of the river is closed, and we're opening. The spawning channel is open, so the fish have only one option, and that's to move in. The spawning channel can hold up to approximately 25,000 adult chum to spawn. And then, yeah, it's a controlled environment. The flow, as you can kind of tell the difference in flow between the two sites. So, yeah.
So far, this is panning out to be an extremely educational segment for myself.
Huge success. We took a nice, beautiful drive down the river, up the river, and now we're at the incubation area where they keep all the eggs.
Yes, I was gonna say, be prepared to see some eggs.
It's gonna be wild stuff. Let's go.
Not so much, not really wild stuff, but hatchery stuff.
Trevor, tell Dad what the white ones are.
Oh, okay. There's something way more interesting.
So we'll be running all 4 million of our Chinook eggs through this. What the machine's doing is it's got a little beacon of light in there, so if it can't see through the egg, it's spitting out the dead one. So generally it's pretty good. Doug here is then going through them just to double pick and just get the odd one that doesn't make it through, and then they're put back into bulk boxes for the time being before we put them into our heat trays. So these are all Chinook. They're all spawned this October. It's been about a month for these guys to get to the eyed stage, and then it'll be about another 3 to 4 weeks before they start to hatch. So back at the start of the episode, we were looking at the computer that we were talking about how it's automated and everything. So from down below, we're about 10 kilometers upriver now at our valve house. So this is one end of a 500-meter tunnel from Horn Lake to the Big Qualicum River. So these valves behind us, they're 2 cone valves that will be controlled automatically from down below or up here to adjust the flow into the system. 293 cubic feet per second coming out of each of these valves as we speak.
What we're seeing is all the water from the whole entire Big Qualicum River is coming out of 2 holes in the side of a mountain.
Accurate.
What is this? This is obviously the heart of the place here.
Yeah, so if we want to adjust, so all the way back to the start again, we have 3 intakes, or 3 levels of an intake. We have the surface, an intermediate, and a lower level intake, which allows us to manipulate the temperature of the river. So to adjust these, we fire up the generator, and then we've got our chain winch above us that can lift these gates. So we're just at the valve house with the big Coho valves. This is the other end of that. So below us is our tunneling system that's about 500 meters through the side of the mountain into the river, essentially.
Very interesting.
Very educational, much more than even I thought it was going to be. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So thank you to Aaron Burgoyne
Big thanks
again
to
for
Aaron.
the invite and the beautiful tutorial.
And it's on his day off too, by the way, so even bigger things.
No, it's great to have you guys out here. Just want to encourage any members of the public, if you're interested in coming out to the hatchery, we're open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day the hatchery's open, or accessible. And if you're interested in finding out when we're doing egg takes or the spring programs, feel free to give us a shout in the main office and we gladly let you know what's going on.
Awesome.
That's super awesome. And I think we'll be back to check out that whole
I think so too. Yeah, that'd be very cool. Trev.
So anyway, I'm Tyler Kyle.
Nathan Thomas.
Aaron.
We're going.
2 men in the fishing rods. Thanks
Big
so
Q
much.
Hatchery. I'll see you next time.